there, beauty ravers, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Raven, and this is where I like to rave about beauty. If you would ever so kindly hit that like and subscribe button to become part of my little family here on YouTube, it means so much to me. Now, without further ado, let's jump on into the video. Hi guys, today I have the most exciting video that I have filmed in such a long time, and that's because we finally got the It's Freakin' Bats Shroud X Beautbean palette in the mail. I am oh so happy. This is amazing to me because I have wanted this thing since I saw it released, and I mean I pre-ordered this in October. Was it worth the wait? You're just gonna have to wait and find out. But let's just jump into this because I got some swatches for you. I got this eye look for you, and I am just so excited for you to see me play with this because I'm just excited to play with this. So let's dive into it, but before we do, I want to say a big congratulations to Betty Jean, aka Beautbean, here on YouTube. She is my all-time favorite YouTuber. We have such similar aesthetics, which is why I love the color story of this palette oh so much. And I'm just so proud of her because she really knocked it out of the water with this one. Honestly, guys, you're just gonna have to wait and watch the rest of this video to see my real first impressions of it. But overall, I'm really proud of her, and I just wanted to say that really quickly before we jumped into it. So now, let's go ahead and dive into some swatches and then the eye look. Alright guys, if I were to say that I was excited, that would be an understatement. So let's get on into this. So I am going to prime my eyes really quickly with my Modelrock Eye Elixir. And my wig is not glued down, so if it pops up at any point, we're just gonna ignore that. Just like Betty Jean, she always has the same issue going on with her wigs. And you know, it's fitting for this video because this is her palette. I thought it would be fun to wear a wig. I mean, I wear wigs all the time, but I mean, it's fitting for this one especially. And now I'm going to apply that. I'm going to use the mirror that comes in this palette because it is a pretty nice size mirror and the palette's not too heavy, so I think I can just use this today. Alright, now that my eye is primed, we can jump into this palette, and I really don't know what I want to do because every single shade in this palette is screaming to me, so I kind of want to use pretty much everything. So we're going to try and do that today. I don't know if we're going to be able to use everything, but we're going to try and use most of it anyway. And I think the shade I want to start off with is going to be the shade Spooky, which is this periwinkle blue, which let me tell you guys, this palette literally resembles her, but also me. Because if I were to have a palette, I'm 95% sure that I would have a periwinkle and a chartreuse. So the fact that there's both, I'm just like, okay. And then we also have the deep purples, the deep blue. Everything about this palette is me, and I'm just so excited. So now let's dive into that. Now I have never tried Shroud Cosmetics, so I don't know how their formula is going to work for me, but we are going to find out. I'm just going to take that on my Profusion Big Fluffy Blending Brush. So we're going to start with the shade Spooky, and we're going to put that in the upper crease. Oh wow, that is like super pigmented right off the bat. Okay. That's intense, man. That is a beautiful, that's like the perfect periwinkle because let me tell you guys, sometimes I feel like people, it really depends. What do you guys think? Do you think periwinkle is more purple or more blue leaning? I prefer when periwinkles are more blue leaning like this rather than when they're more purple leaning where I almost feel like they look more lilac than a periwinkle. But a lot of times periwinkles are more purple and I prefer when they're more blue. So I really love this. I think this is the perfect shade of periwinkle in my opinion. And periwinkle is one of my favorite colors, but like this shade of periwinkle. Not that I don't like the more purpley versions of periwinkle, I just prefer this. For some reason I think the blue is a little bit more standout-ish and I just think it looks really good. Especially on the eyes. And I'm just blending that out with some circular motions and it seems to be blending out quite nicely. I remember when this palette was first sneak peeked and I was like, oh, I'm so excited. I wonder who they're collaborating with. Little did I know it would be my favorite YouTuber. I'm just over the moon that it's finally in my possession. Yes, I ordered this in October, and yes, it's been a very long wait, but honestly, I'm not even mad because I know that Chloe is a one-woman show over at Shroud. I think they finally got some more people working together now, which is wonderful, and I'm so happy for her. But I know that this was a very stressful release for them, and I mean, I'm just so glad that it took off the way that it did, but they didn't expect that, so honestly, I don't even fault them. They tried their best, and they're really just trying to catch up at this point, and you know, you gotta appreciate what they're doing. At least she kept us all updated. And you know, with pre-orders, sometimes it is a longer wait than expected, but you know, as long as it does eventually arrive, I'm not mad about waiting. Sometimes lighter blues and periwinkles like that can be a little bit more pastel and almost not show up as well, but this is so pigmented, so beautiful, and I'm in love with it already. So now we are going to go in with, what do I want to do now? I think I'm going to take a little bit of Dairy and I'm going to pop that in our outer V to give this look a little bit more depth. I'm sorry my watch keeps going off. Let me turn my sound off. And I'm just going to be taking that shade on my Sigma E42 Precision Firm Blender Brush. It's just a small tapered blending brush, and we're going to pop that in the outer V. Again, super pigmented. I love that so much. I don't mind building a shadow if I have to, but when it's super pigmented right off the bat, it does make me a little bit more happy and inclined to use the palette more often, if I'm being honest. But again, it doesn't bother me as long as the shadow will build. I can use it, but I really do prefer when they're super pigmented right off the bat. However, I feel like for some people that might be a bit intimidating right off the bat, so, you know, maybe going with a super light hand with this palette or whatnot. But I really enjoy this so far. So good. And I really like this shade because it's almost black with a hint of purple. And I just think that's so creative and beautiful because I love a black in a palette. But if you want to make it a little bit different and use a tiny bit of purple, I'm totally about that too. So I really do enjoy this. And I think it goes well with the other colors in the palette. So it's a really good deepening shade in my opinion. Let me know, did you guys pick up this palette? Have you received yours already? Have you tried anything else from Shroud Cosmetics? Because they do have quite a few other palettes that I've had my eye on for quite some time. I almost picked up the Creepy Cute palette, which I still do want at some point. But, you know, it was out of stock because they were really focusing on this palette. And I completely understand that, but eventually I do want to pick that one up. And if you guys have tried that one, let me know how you like it, because I think it looks gorgeous. I'm also just a lover of pastels, like that's kind of my vibe, and I know not everybody is, but I really do love pastels. But I also really enjoy deep grungy tones like these. So, I mean, I just really like the aesthetic of Shroud Cosmetics to begin with. And I think collaborating with Beautbean was a great choice for them because they do share a similar aesthetic. And maybe one day they can collaborate with me because we share a similar aesthetic too. Don't get your hopes up, Raven. Would be cool though, huh? I did get a little bit of fallout with that shade, but I'm just going to try and dust it away now. Okay, well, it dusted away into almost giving me a black eye, so I don't love that. But I will say maybe just do your eyes first with this palette, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, as you can see, I have like a black cast right here now because it kind of just... yeah. So I'm just going to do my eyes first next time I pop this palette out, but I do enjoy these mattes so far. Now I'm going to cut my crease. So to cut my crease, I'm going to use the old Beautbean method, which is NYX Glitter Primer instead of concealer, and a flat tip concealer brush, and that's what I like to use. She's actually the one that I got this tip from, but I use it every single look now, so I mean, it's become my method, it's her method. It should be everyone's method. No, I'm kidding. But if you haven't tried it, I think you might really enjoy it because it does make it a lot easier in my opinion. So I am going to take that on an LA Colors flat shader brush, right? Yeah, this is an LA Colors eyeshadow shader brush, and I'm just going to take that on the back of my hand and I'm going to apply it to my eye. And a little bit goes a long way when using this, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to apply that to my lid, and I'm going to go right above my natural crease when cutting it because that's how I like to do my shape, and whatever works for you works for you. I'm also going to stop where it starts to deepen up in the outer V. Again, whatever shape works best for your eye shape, go ahead and do that, but this is what works best for mine. Alright, now that we have that down, we can go in with our shimmers, and I don't know what shimmers I want to use today, but I kind of want to use them all. So let's decide which ones we're going to pop on the lid. I think what I want to do, I'm going to take the shade Grim on the outer portion of my lid, and I'm just going to pop that on using my Sigma E54 Medium Sweeper Brush. Lots of fallout with that shade, but it is gorgeous. I am literally shook. That is so beautiful. Oh yes, this was the right choice. I am happy I made it. I am now going to take a little bit of Sam and I'm going to pop that in the middle of the lid. Using that same Sigma brush, and I'm just going to take the other side of it. And yeah, also can we talk about the names in this palette, because they are super duper cute, all spooky theming, and I just love it so much. It's also something that I would probably do with my own palette. And honestly, this palette just sums me up in a whole, and I'm so happy it's finally in my possession. I remember when she showed this palette off in her video for the first time, and I was just like, this is something I would literally create myself, and I have not been able to say that about any other palette. I mean, I love the Club Nebula palette, and I think it's absolutely stunning, but I don't think that'd be my color story, honestly. I mean, it is now that I have it in my possession, but like, it's not something that I think I would have thought to do, but this palette is literally like me. Like, it's me in a palette. And it's so funny because, like I said, Beautbean is my favorite YouTuber, and I've actually had somebody tell me that I remind them of Beautbean, which really made my whole day, honestly, because she is just an icon, and being compared to an icon that you absolutely adore is just one of the best compliments you can receive. But I mean, I can see it because we really do have very similar aesthetics. Our makeup styles are quite similar. We both like wigs, we both like spooky stuff, we both like cats, we both like, I mean, we honestly have very similar personalities, and I think it's super cute. I would love to meet Betty Jean someday. That would be a dream come true. Honestly, I think we would get along so well, and I would love to get my hair done by her, actually. And I don't trust anyone with my hair, but she is like so talented that I think I could bite the bullet on that one. But that shade is super duper cute. I am going to try and squeeze one more shimmer on my lid, and I know exactly which one I want to use. And that's going to be Apparition. And like I said, I'm going to squeeze it on the inner portion of my lid. I'm going to take it on the smaller doe color number 9 brush, so that way I can really fit it in there, because I don't have much room left, but we're trying to make it. I'm kind of just overlapping Apparition over Sam, and I'm kind of making them coexist nicely together. And so that way I have a little bit more of Apparition actually on the lid showing, and also just it's blended nicely until it looks something like that. And I will say this palette has a ton of fallout, so if that's something you're not into, you might not like this palette. But again, I usually do my eyes first. I probably should have today, but you know, we live and we learn. Okay, I think that's looking gorgeous. Now let's go in with the lower lash line. And for the lower lash line, I think I'm going to try and use more shades. I'm trying to use everything today, guys, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but we're going to try. I'm going to go in now with Atoms in the outer portion of the lower lash line. And I'm just going to take this on a doe color number 12 brush. I'm just going to swipe it along the lower lash line, but I'm not going to go all the way in with it because we are going to use another shade. That is an absolutely stunning color. I'm just, yes, yes, yes. Now wiping that brush off really quickly, I'm going to go in now with Trappa, which is a beautiful chartreuse, and I'm so excited to use this. I can't wait to do an all green look with this palette because, oh my goodness, is that going to be pretty. The shades of green that Betty Jean picked out are just absolutely perfect and so fitting. I love this palette. Oh my god, it's so pretty, guys. I'm really so happy. And we're just going to pop that in the inner portion of the lower lash line. Okay, those two greens work so well together. Absolutely beautiful. I am now going to add an inner corner highlight, and for today's inner corner highlight, okay, we only have 2 shades left in the palette, guys. I have used everything except for Handbook and Zero. So I think what I would normally do with this look is use Zero as our inner corner highlight, but then I would not have a placement for Handbook. So what I think I'm actually going to do is use Handbook as our inner corner highlight, and I'm going to use Zero as our brow bone highlight. Because I just don't think Handbook would look that good as a brow bone highlight, but I do think I can get away with using Zero. So that way I can use every single shade in the palette for you guys today, which I'm really impressed that I got to do that. And I'm just going to take both of those shades on this Dose of Colors double-ended brush. It has this side that I like to use for my inner corner highlights, and then it also has this side that I like to use for my brow bone highlights. So it's perfect. And now picking up this gorgeous lime green Handbook shade, and I'm going to pop that in my inner corner highlight. Oh wow, that is beautiful. That is stunning. That is everything. Okay. Do you see that? That is so beautiful. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about that being an inner corner highlight, but oh my goodness, does that work so well. I am shook, to say the least. So now again, I am going to pop in Zero in my brow bone, so let's do that. And that is an absolutely stunning brow bone highlight as well. Okay, Such an interesting creative look that we created today. I'm very happy with it. I will say I haven't had this much fallout on my face in quite a while, but I'm not mad. I'm gonna go clean up the fallout. I'm going to add liner, lashes, mascara, anything else I need to do, and I will be right back. Alright guys, this is the finished look and I think it came together super duper cute. I am like obsessed with this palette, but let's talk about it a little bit in detail, shall we? The one gripe, the only gripe that I could even give it is the fallout. The fallout was kind of a lot, I will admit that, and I definitely couldn't just sweep it away, which was unfortunate. However, if you do your eyes first, there will be absolutely no problem with fallout because you can just clean it up before you do your face. And that's what I'm going to do from now on with this palette, and I'm okay with that, 100% okay with that, because this is so perfect. It is beautiful. It is stunning. It is pigmented. It blends like a dream. I am absolutely in love with it. This look. Can we talk about the look? I feel like a beautiful Morticia Addams in this look. I feel so like myself. Honestly, this is just so perfect to me. I really could not ask for more. Like most palettes, I at least have 1 or 2 shades where I'm like, I probably won't get too much use out of it, but it's okay because the rest of the palette will work for me. This palette, every single shade I am obsessed with, truly. 100%. Like, I am just so happy with this. I'm so happy it's finally in my possession. It took a while, but it's totally worth the wait in my opinion. I'm just so happy. Honestly, I'm over the moon. But honestly, I could go on and on about this palette all day because it truly performed so well. And the color story I already was in love with, and now seeing it in person, it's just that much better to me. I 100% think it's worth every penny, every waiting second that I waited. I think it was just worth everything, and I'm just so excited to play more with it. I will be doing a 3 looks 1 palette with this one, so if that's something you're interested in seeing, please stay tuned for that, because I already know I'm going to dip into this like every single day, because I'm just so happy. I know I say happy a lot, but honestly, this is doing it for me, guys. I would love to know what you guys are thinking though. Did you enjoy the look? Did you pick up this palette? Are you going to when they restock? Because they have talked about it and they will be restocking it as long as there is demand for it. So if you want it, it will be there eventually. Just give her some time. Honestly, she's working as hard as she can. And I appreciate all the updates that she gives us. Please be patient. I know it's hard, but with indie brands especially, it's hard for them too. So please just keep that in mind, you know? But I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions, so please do leave them down below. And if you're curious about anything else that I have on my face, it will be linked in my description box as always. But I think that's going to wrap it up for me today. I hope that you have a wonderful day and stay beautiful. Mwah.